Meghan Markle just made a mistake she can't come back from, and it's shaking the Sussex household to its core. Sources say Prince Harry is in full panic mode after his wife's ego-driven demand to be announced as the Duchess of Sussex in casual settings has exploded into a PR disaster. We're not talking about a small stumble. This is a full meltdown that's exposing Meghan's true priorities. Even Harry can't spin his way out of this one. The backlash has been so severe, so immediate, and so widespread that palace insiders are whispering this could be the moment that destroys whatever credibility the Sussexes had left. So, what happened? Harper's Bazaar published what was supposed to be Meghan's grand comeback story, designed to win back America's affection. Instead, it became Exhibit A in the case against her. Buried in the pages was a revelation so staggering, readers had to read it twice to believe it. Meghan allegedly demands to be formally announced when she enters a room, insisting on her full royal title even in private and informal settings. She reportedly expects the same treatment as Queen Elizabeth received at state functions, but wants it at dinner parties and casual gatherings. The audacity is breathtaking, and the public response has been brutal. Social media went into overdrive within hours, with memes comparing Meghan to Detective Columbo in her beige trench coat going viral. The mockery was relentless, but beneath the jokes was genuine outrage. Royal commentators are calling this the most tone-deaf move of Meghan's post-royal career. Palace insiders now fear this demand confirms their worst suspicions about her, that she never understood what service really means. They believe she wanted the crown without the responsibility, the admiration without earning it, and the difference without any humility. And to make matters worse, this bombshell dropped during the same week Prince William and Princess Catherine reminded the world what true royalty looks like. They attended the Royal Variety performance at Royal Albert Hall, where Catherine looked stunning, and the couple received thunderous applause. Their moments of genuine human connection, including meeting cancer survivors, stood in stark contrast to Meghan's vanity. Sources speculate that Harry must be watching the public backlash with mounting dread. But Meghan's demand was only the opening act. What followed next would leave Harry shaken to his core and further damage the Sussex brand. Let's break down just how absurd this situation is. Meghan's alleged request for royal treatment at informal gatherings shows the extreme entitlement behind it. In traditional royal protocol, formal announcements are reserved for state dinners, official ceremonies, and events with senior royals. Meghan, however, allegedly wants this treatment at private dinners and everyday situations. The ridiculousness doesn't stop there. Even Queen Elizabeth didn't demand such theatrical entrances in informal settings. The late Queen understood the difference between duty and vanity, and how respect is earned through service, not by titles. Meghan, however, seems to have missed that lesson entirely, or perhaps doesn't care at all. The backlash has been especially harsh in America, where the idea of royal titles goes against the very notion of democracy. Many Americans who once sympathized with Meghan's struggles within the royal family are now questioning whether she truly wanted to escape the institution or simply wanted to control it on her own terms. Critics are pointing out the hypocrisy of someone who sought privacy and normalcy, but now insists on being treated like royalty wherever she goes. You can't have it both ways, and the public is starting to realize the contradiction. Industry insiders suggest the most damning part of this revelation is how it exposes Meghan's true priorities. She's not focused on substance, impact, or genuinely helping others. Instead, she's obsessed with status and the trappings of importance without doing the actual work that would make those honors meaningful. The comparison to Columbo wasn't just about fashion, it was about someone desperately trying to project an image of sophistication while the whole performance feels forced and awkward. Behind closed doors, people are saying that even Harry must be cringing at this revelation. He grew up watching his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, navigate public life with humility, despite being the most powerful royal in the world. He saw his mother, Princess Diana, command respect through her humanitarian work, not by demanding it. Now, he's married to someone who allegedly demands royal treatment at casual gatherings. Sources speculate the cognitive dissonance for Harry must be overwhelming. But Meghan's vanity wasn't the only thing exposed by Harper's Bazaar. The public reaction was about to get even more savage. The internet showed Meghan Markle no mercy, and the speed at which public opinion turned against her was staggering. Within hours of the article dropping, social media exploded with mockery, outrage, and disbelief. Twitter users couldn't believe what they were reading. Hashtags criticizing Meghan flooded the platform, with critics calling her the ultimate example of narcissism and self-importance. Royal watchers who had remained neutral or even sympathetic suddenly found themselves joining the chorus of criticism, and the consensus was clear: Meghan had finally gone too far. The Columbo comparison became the symbol of everything wrong with the Harper's Bazaar spread. Someone took a screenshot of Meghan in her oversized beige trench coat and placed it next to Peter Falk's iconic detective character, and the visual similarity was undeniable. But the meme went beyond just fashion. It represented how Meghan's carefully constructed image of sophistication and elegance was crumbling under scrutiny. People weren't buying the perfection she was selling anymore, and the jokes practically wrote themselves. One viral tweet read, "Just one more thing, Duchess. Why do you need to be announced at a barbecue?" The post racked up hundreds of thousands of likes. Royal commentators didn't hold back either. Rupert Bell, speaking on the Heirs and Spares podcast, called the Duchess's demand absolutely crass and questioned how far up your own backside you'd have to be to require formal announcements in casual settings. He pointed out that even actual monarchs don't behave this way in private, and Meghan's insistence on the treatment revealed a fundamental misunderstanding of what royalty actually means. The commentary wasn't just critical, it was scathing, reflecting a broader shift in how media figures were willing to discuss Meghan's behavior. Then came the statistic that nobody could ignore. Ranker.com confirmed what many had suspected: Meghan Markle had officially become the most disliked celebrity in America, not just among royals or public figures, but across the entire celebrity landscape. The buzz in royal circles is that this marks a catastrophic fall from grace for someone who once had Hollywood eating out of her hand. Reports are surfacing that the combination of the Duchess's demand, her ongoing attacks on the royal family, and her increasingly obvious ego had finally alienated the American public beyond repair. According to sources, even people in Hollywood were distancing themselves from Meghan. Industry insiders suggest that her vanity demands and constant need for validation have made her toxic in entertainment circles. Nobody wants to work with someone who requires royal protocol on set, demands special treatment, and creates drama wherever she goes. The mockery wasn't just coming from royal fans anymore. It was coming from every corner of popular culture. And insiders claim Meghan was blindsided by how quickly the narrative turned against her. But while the public was eviscerating Meghan online, something else was happening behind closed doors. Prince Harry was reportedly struggling with the fallout in ways nobody expected. Palace sources are painting a turbulent picture of Harry's state of mind, and insiders claim the cracks in his facade are becoming impossible to hide. According to reports, Harry is struggling to defend his wife's behavior, and the Duchess's demand has left him in an increasingly uncomfortable position. Sources close to the situation reveal that Harry grew up watching his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, navigate public life with grace and humility, despite being the most powerful royal in the world. Now he's watching his wife demand the same treatment at casual gatherings, and the disconnect is allegedly eating away at him. But the Harper's Bazaar piece exposed something even more disturbing about the Sussex marriage, and it's the detail that has palace insiders most concerned. Throughout the entire article, Meghan gushed about how much Harry loves her, how he has her back, and how she's never felt more supported. But here's what she didn't say. She never once reciprocated those feelings publicly. She never talked about how much she loves him or how grateful she is for his sacrifices. The entire piece read like a one-way street, with Harry serving as his emotional support system, while Meghan focused entirely on herself. Royal commentators immediately picked up on this imbalance, and the speculation began to swirl. Rupert Bell addressed this on his podcast, asking why Meghan couldn't find it in herself to publicly praise Harry the way he constantly praises her. He pointed out that if someone genuinely loves their partner, they don't just talk about being loved, they talk about loving in return. The fact that Meghan's entire narrative centers on Harry's devotion to her without any meaningful reciprocation suggests a relationship dynamic that's deeply troubling. Word on the street suggests this isn't just an oversight. Industry insiders suggest that Vanity Fair also had concerns about Meghan's narrative.
unable to confirm key details that would prove her version of events actually happened the way she claims it happened. Yet Harper's Bazaar ran with her anyway, presenting it as established fact rather than Meghan's self-serving recollection. But the most egregious falsehood remains the secret wedding claim, which permanently destroyed Meghan's credibility with royal observers. She told Oprah Winfrey that she and Harry married 3 days before their official ceremony, forcing the Archbishop of Canterbury to perform a private ceremony in their backyard. The problem is, that's legally impossible, and the Archbishop himself had to gently correct the record, explaining that what happened was a private exchange of vows, not a legal marriage. Insiders claim Meghan knew exactly what she was doing when she made that claim, deliberately misleading millions of viewers to create a more romantic narrative. Palace sources speculate that Harper's Bazaar's willingness to publish Meghan's greatest hits without proper fact-checking
shows how desperate both parties were for positive coverage. But the timing of the release revealed an even more calculated strategy. If there's one thing Meghan Markle has perfected over the years, it's the art of strategic disruption. And the Harper's Bazaar release was no accident. Royal watchers have documented a disturbing pattern that's become impossible to ignore. Every time Prince William and Princess Catherine have an important moment, a meaningful engagement, or positive press coverage, Meghan mysteriously drops a bombshell designed to steal the headlines. Sources close to the situation reveal that this isn't coincidence. It's calculated sabotage, and palace insiders are furious about the blatant disrespect. Let's look at the receipts. The Harper's Bazaar article dropped during the exact same week that William and Catherine were out in full force, attending the royal variety performance and showcasing what authentic royal duty looks like. Catherine had just delivered a powerful speech about empathy and compassion for those affected by drug and alcohol addiction. A heartfelt message that came from her own experiences supporting people through their darkest moments. She was making a real impact, using her platform for genuine good, and the public response was overwhelmingly positive. Then Meghan swooped in with her magazine cover and Duchess demands, and suddenly the conversation shifted from Catherine's meaningful work to Meghan's vanity and ego. But this pattern goes back much further, and it's been happening for years. Remember when Harry was promoting his memoir, Spare? Meghan went completely silent, nowhere to be seen during his media tour, where he humiliated himself talking about his frostbitten todger and other cringe-worthy revelations. She let him twist in the wind alone, but the moment William or Catherine have positive news, Meghan suddenly has a trailer to drop, a magazine cover to release, or a charity appearance to announce. The consistency is remarkable, and palace sources speculate it's deliberate psychological warfare designed to prevent the working royals from enjoying uninterrupted success. Industry insiders suggest the most egregious example is coming next week. Meghan's Netflix series drops on December 3rd, and anyone paying attention knows that's the first week of December, which is when Catherine traditionally records her Christmas Carol. This annual event has become one of Catherine's signature projects, a beautiful celebration of community and faith that airs on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's meaningful, it's popular, and it showcases Catherine at her absolute best. So naturally, Meghan scheduled her cooking show to launch during the same week, ensuring maximum competition for headlines and attention. Behind closed doors, people are saying Catherine is fed up with the constant disruption. Sources close to the Princess of Wales reveal that she's tired of Meghan's jealousy and obsessive need to compete with working royals who are actually doing their jobs. The buzz in royal circles is that Catherine has stopped viewing Meghan as family or even as a rival, and now sees her simply as irrelevant, a desperate attention seeker whose tactics are becoming more transparent with each pathetic attempt to stay relevant. But Meghan's timing strategy didn't just annoy the palace. It sparked outrage among people who were starting to see the pattern for themselves. And the reaction from Hollywood and royal circles was about to get even brutal.
The whispers coming out of both Hollywood and palace circles paint a devastating picture of how Meghan Markle is now viewed by the people who matter most. And insiders claim her reputation has reached a point of no return. According to sources, entertainment industry executives who once saw Meghan as a potentially valuable commodity are now treating her like radioactive waste. The Duchess' demand wasn't just embarrassing. It confirmed what many in Hollywood had suspected for years. Meghan is impossible to work with, obsessed with status over substance, and more concerned with titles than actual talent. Industry insiders suggest that major studios and production companies have quietly blacklisted Meghan from serious projects. Word on the street suggests that nobody wants to deal with someone who allegedly requires royal protocol on set, demands special treatment, and creates drama wherever she goes. One unnamed executive reportedly told colleagues that working with Meghan would be a nightmare because she doesn't see herself as an actress or producer. She sees herself as royalty, who occasionally dabbles in entertainment. That kind of attitude is career poison in an industry that values professionalism and teamwork above ego and entitlement. The Netflix situation is particularly telling. Reports are surfacing that the streaming giant is deeply unhappy with the return on investment they've gotten from the Sussex deal. They paid millions for content that was supposed to generate buzz and subscribers. But what they've received instead is a cooking show that's already being mocked before it even airs, a polo documentary that nobody asked for, and a pattern of controversy that's more exhausting than profitable. Behind closed doors, people are saying Netflix executives are counting down the days until the Sussex contract expires, with no intention of renewal. Royal circles are even less forgiving, and the language being used to describe Meghan has become remarkably harsh. Palace insiders whisper that she's viewed as a toxic poison for the royal family, someone whose ego and vanity pose an existential threat to the institution. According to well-placed sources, there's genuine fear within palace walls that Harry and Meghan are positioning themselves to launch fresh attacks whenever William and Catherine gain momentum. The term alternative royal unit is being used to describe their strategy, and the concern is that they're building a parallel brand designed to undermine the real monarchy. The most chilling revelation comes from palace figures who claim that there's widespread fear Harry can't help himself and is recording every conversation and meeting as material for his second memoir or another Netflix series. Sources close to the situation reveal that nobody in the royal family trusts Harry anymore, and the paranoia about being secretly documented has made any potential reconciliation impossible. The buzz in royal circles is that Harry's betrayal goes deeper than just writing a tell-all book. He's reportedly gathering intelligence for future attacks, with Meghan allegedly encouraging this scorched earth approach. Royal commentators point out that both Hollywood and Palace have independently reached the same conclusion. Meghan Markle is a liability, not an asset, and anyone who gets close to her ends up damaged by the association. But the immediate fallout from Meghan's Duchess demand started to materialize quickly, in ways even she couldn't ignore. Sources close to the situation reveal that the damage is already reshaping the Sussex brand in catastrophic ways. According to industry insiders, potential sponsorship deals that were in the works have quietly evaporated, with brands going silent rather than risk association with someone who's become America's most disliked celebrity. The buzz in marketing circles is that Meghan has become box office poison, and no amount of royal titles can compensate for the liability she represents to corporate reputations. Reports are surfacing that high-end fashion houses who once courted Meghan are now keeping their distance. Sources speculate that luxury brands don't want their products associated with someone who's being compared to Columbo and mocked relentlessly across social media platforms. The fashion industry thrives on aspiration and elegance, not on vanity demands and tone-deaf entitlement. One unnamed fashion executive reportedly said that Meghan's brand is the opposite of what luxury represents. She's trying too hard, demanding too much, and coming across as desperate rather than sophisticated. The consequences extend beyond just business opportunities. Palace insiders whisper that the Duchess demand has permanently closed the door on any potential reconciliation with the royal family. According to well-placed sources, King Charles had been quietly open to the possibility of offering some kind of olive branch, perhaps allowing Harry limited involvement in family events or maintaining minimal contact. But Meghan's latest display of ego has reportedly disgusted the king, and insiders claim he's now fully aligned with William's hardline approach. The message from the palace is clear. There's no path back for people who abused royal titles while simultaneously attacking the institution. The media landscape has also shifted dramatically against Meghan. Royal commentators who once tried to remain balanced or give her the benefit of the doubt are now openly critical, using words like delusional, narcissistic, and out of touch to describe her behavior. The Duchess demand give critics permission to say what they've been thinking all along, and the gloves have come off in spectacular fashion. Word on the street suggests that even journalists who were sympathetic to Meghan's struggles with the royal family now view her as someone who squandered every opportunity and blamed everyone else for her failures. Social media metrics tell an even grimmer story. According to sources tracking online engagement, negative sentiment towards Meghan has reached record highs, with even former supporters expressing exhaustion and disappointment. The comment sections under articles about the Duchess demand are brutal, with readers questioning her mental state, her marriage, and her future prospects. Behind closed doors, people are saying Meghan has managed to unite people across political and cultural divides in their shared dislike of her behavior, an impressive feat of alienation that few public figures achieve. Industry insiders suggest that Harry is watching this meltdown with growing panic, realizing that his wife's vanity has destroyed whatever goodwill they had left. Sources speculate that he's trapped between defending Meghan and facing reality,
and the cognitive dissonance is becoming unbearable. But the bigger question looming over the Sussex household is what comes next, and whether their relationship can survive the implosion. The Duchess demand disaster has exposed fault lines in the Sussex brand that can't be repaired. Insiders claim we're witnessing the beginning of the end for Harry and Meghan's public relevance. According to sources close to the situation, the couple is facing a brutal reality check. Their strategy of attacking the royal family while clinging to royal titles has finally collapsed under the weight of its own hypocrisy, and the public has stopped buying what they're selling. Palace insiders whisper that reconciliation is no longer just unlikely, it's impossible, and the Sussexes will spend the rest of their lives on the outside looking in. But here's the question that's keeping royal watchers up at night. How long can this marriage survive the mounting pressure? Reports are surfacing that Harry appears increasingly uncomfortable with Meghan's behavior, and sources speculate that watching his wife demand to be announced like royalty while the world mocks her must be soul-crushing for someone who grew up with actual dignity and protocol. The buzz in royal circles is that Harry married someone who craves all the prestige of royalty without any of the substance, and the realization of this is allegedly eating away at him. Industry insiders suggest that Meghan's ego will ultimately be her downfall. Not just professionally, but personally. She's created a dynamic where everything revolves around her needs, her image, and her validation, leaving Harry as little more than an accessory to her ambitions. Behind closed doors, people are saying that a relationship built on such imbalance can't sustain itself indefinitely, and the cracks are already showing. The question isn't if things will fall apart, but when, and how spectacular the implosion will be when it finally happens. The palace, meanwhile, is moving forward without them. William and Catherine are solidifying their position as the future of the monarchy, doing the actual work while the Sussexes chase headlines and demand special treatment. According to well-placed sources, the contrast has never been clearer, and public opinion has decisively chosen substance over spectacle. Royal commentators point out that in 10 years, William and Catherine will be preparing for kingship, while Harry and Meghan will be footnotes in royal history. Cautionary tales about what happens when ego overtakes duty. Word on the street suggests that Meghan's vanity-fueled Duchess demand will be remembered as the moment her facade finally crumbled completely. It wasn't the worst thing she's done, but it was the most revealing, exposing her priorities and delusions in ways that even her defenders couldn't spin.
Sources speculate that historians will look back on this moment as the point where the Sussex brand died, killed by the very vanity Meghan thought would sustain it. So, here's the question for you. Can Harry and Meghan survive the consequences of her ego? Or are we watching a marriage and the brand circle the drain in real time? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and trust me, you won't believe what's coming next. The Sussex drama is far from over, and the explosions are only getting bigger.